episode of Virtual Coffee. With me today is Alejandro, the founder and owner of Tepuy Doughnuts. Alejandro hand makes all of his donuts and he has delicious flavors such as PB&J, glazed, lemon poppy seed donuts. He is rapidly growing his business, and I hope if you're in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, you'll check him out. Now, before we dive into this episode, I'd really appreciate if you could rate and review Virtual Coffee on the Apple Podcasts app. You can also follow us along on social medias such as Instagram and Facebook. It's all at Virtual Coffee Podcast. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Now, let's hear from Alejandro. Welcome, Alejandro. Thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
I'm really excited to speak with you, and to kick things off here on your episode, would love to just hear Tepuy Doughnuts' mission in your own words, where the idea came from to create this business. Just tell us a little bit more about it.
So I'm from Venezuela. I went to culinary school there, and I've been in restaurant business for up to 10 years now. And outside my high school, there was, or close to my house, there was these people selling donuts, and they were my favorite donuts. Like it was the first donut shop in my city where I'm from. So I knew since then, like I should make donuts, like I started with cinnamon rolls, but I always wanted to make donuts. So I moved to Argentina. There were no donuts there. So I started making donuts there, just trying recipes, and I made my own recipe. Then I moved here, and I figured out there were no good donut shops around or handcraft donuts, like the ones I make. So I just jumped into it. Started with online services via Instagram. I started on 1 year ago when the pandemic started. By then, I was working at Mandarin restaurant.
Okay.
So we started making these pre-made foods, family meals, and we started selling them there. And that's how I started.
That's very cool. I love how you traveled the world with your donut recipe. That's awesome. And tell our audience what makes your donuts so different, because they do look so good on your Instagram and they look, nothing like Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme, right? Like tell us what makes your donuts so special and look so good.
Right. I think it will be that I use the highest quality ingredients and they're handcraft. My first note was from Eat Raleigh blog, and they say they were different because they were not the typical donut that comes out of a machine, and I think they're handcraft sourdough, 24-hour roofing, fermentation, and I think maybe the deep flavors I'm putting on the menu, you cannot find them around here. You can find those donuts like in New York, like a peanut butter and jelly donut or Nutella filled creme brulee. They're very premium donuts. So I think that's what's making the difference, innovating.
Definitely. And yeah, to your point, they're very unique. They're not just the standard frosted donut. They're very, very unique. And that's excellent. Like I said, they look so delicious.
Yeah, like for the vanilla glaze, I use vanilla bean paste. So yeah, I think that's what makes the difference. Premium ingredients and love, like I really want to be the best.
Yeah.
It's not difficult right now here. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm super happy.
That's awesome. Yeah, you clearly are passionate about them and put a lot of love into your donuts, which I think is rare around here. To your point, a lot of people use machines and they want to sell them as quickly as possible and make as many as they can. But it seems you're very passionate about what you're selling to people.
Yeah, it's about experience, that's how I see food. I was never a pastry chef or anything like that. But I realized it was an easy way to get into business without a whole restaurant and a whole staff. So yeah,
That makes sense. And yeah, you can launch it yourself and then scale it if you want to from there, but you don't have to start with a
right,
huge team if you don't want to.
right.
And is it just you making the donuts or do you have a small team with you?
No, right now, or it's been just me
Wow. Good
the
for
whole time.
you.
Yeah, it's been hard. I manage the social media.
Yep.
I go shopping. I prep. I cook. Customer service, delivery, all that. It's been hard, but it's my baby. So
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I do it with love.
Yeah. Are you hoping to eventually get a team one day? Like, is that a goal that you have, or for now, just staying focused with it being just you?
No, I'm looking forward to get a team in a brick
Mhm.
and mortar space. I would love to do that ASAP. I've been looking to get into commercial kitchens, but they're full right now. So right now it's just me trying to handle it. You were mentioning that what were the hardest part of it, and it's been
Mhm.
hard to switching into a baker life because I used to be a line cook. So
Okay.
my schedule used to be 3 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Right.
So it's been hard switching into the baker's hours, waking up early in the morning and changing my style life,
Mhm.
my lifestyle.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I never would have thought that the hours would be that different, but that's a great point. Yeah, it takes, I guess, a different schedule, right, to bake the donuts rather than, like, to your point, being that more of the cook role.
Yeah, especially because people want donuts for breakfast.
All right. That's a great point. And they want them fresh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a great point. And where can people find your donuts? I believe you sell them in some coffee shops in Raleigh. Yeah, let us know where we can find them.
Yeah, right now you can find them at Mandarin Restaurant brunch on Sundays or pre-order them the Mandarin farmhouse meals I was telling you about. Right next door to Mandarin, there's Idle Hour Coffee Shop. They're my number one customers. Mostly there. I deliver donuts there every day, beginning 10 in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm talking right now to some other restaurant in the area in Cary, Durham. You can find them at the Rockford's branch on Glenwood South. Friend Kevin Reese cooks there, and he's been hosting for a year or two. Before he was working at Lady Luck, and we will sell donuts there. Right now, he's working at the Rockford, where we sell donuts on brunch Saturday and Sundays. And you can also pre-order them via Instagram, Tepuy Doughnuts, the long word DOUGHNUSTS,
Mhm.
because I had two Instagrams. The first one got hacked, and it's the Puy
Oh,
Donuts with the short word. It's DONUST.
yeah.
So it's been hard. Some people will go there and
Yeah.
order there, and the order goes nowhere.
Oh
So,
man. Yeah, because I was gonna
but
say you can't even delete it because it's hacked, right?
right, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
man. That stinks.
I always tell people to, yeah, right. I always tell people to report it, so it might
Mhm.
one day get be gone, but it's what it is.
I'll make sure to spell it the right way for this episode title and link your Instagram in the description so that people go to the right one.
Yeah, please.
Well, that's awesome that your donuts are all over Raleigh and it seems like you're expanding into other shops. And that's what's so cool about having like a baked good, like a baked homemade good is you can partner with so many restaurants and cafes, coffee shops just to get your product out there. I think that's a really neat strategy.
Right, yeah, I'm selling cinnamon rolls too. They're very
Okay.
popular around, And the good thing is that they last a couple days,
Hmm.
and but donuts last hours.
Right.
To be good,
Hmm.
you want donuts fresh.
Yeah, definitely. Did you have experience with running your own business? So I know you were, a chef, a cook in various restaurants. Is this the your first business that you launched on your own?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I had no experience with that. I said I always making cinnamon rolls
Hmm.
since I was in Venezuela, but it was a small thing. But here it's the boom, so yeah, it's been hard, but taking a lot of responsibility and hard work,
Hmm.
focusing. But yeah, I'm going one day at a time, asking to my teachers, people older than me. But I had no experience with that. But I think I'm handling pretty good.
Definitely. Yeah, that's great leveraging your community and to your point, your teachers and really just taking it day by day. Since you've been running this business for a year now, what is there other advice that you have for other people who are looking to launch their business? Maybe you have advice specifically for the food industry or really just whatever comes top of mind. What would you say to someone who wants to start their own business?
Well, it's all about hard work
Hmm.
and passion, and you have to love what you do for sure. If not, you might give up. You have to be crazy about it, If not, you're not going nowhere because it's very hard. Some days are rough. Some days you will sell no donuts. Or
Hmm.
here, I got here and knew me. So it was hard playing the slow game and not giving up. Love what you do, and do what you love. You
Yeah.
will always succeed.
Yeah, I think that's great advice to just keep going. And to your point, as long as you're passionate about it, really try your hardest, right? Even if the business doesn't go where you might expect it to or goes a different direction, like just knowing that you put your all into it, right? And
Right.
taking it from there.
Yeah, and it takes time. I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of opportunities before to start businesses or do assessments, but I really always said no because I wasn't feeling ready. But with experience and the path of time, you get ready for that.
Yeah, I think those are all great pieces of advice. It just seems like you work really, really hard at your business. And do you have a another job, or did you take your business full time?
I've been working at Mandarin restaurant for 2 years,
Okay.
but right now I work there just a couple days per week.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm full time making donuts, trying to push hard and hard, and
Hmm.
survive out of that.
That's great. You're able to really focus on your business as much as it seems you do. Yeah, it just you seem like a very very hard worker. Kind of a more fun question. Would love to know some of your top selling flavors. Like give us an idea of the types of donuts you sell, like the flavors you sell.
Yeah, so I first started with 4 flavors.
Hmm.
They're still on the menu. I try to keep it simple since it's just me. I love tons of flavors to make, but I try to keep it simple right now since it's just me. So it is original glazed donut, cinnamon sugar, chocolate glaze, maple and bacon. Those are the four I started with, and I always make flavors with whatever is on season or the farmers market. There's apples. I on October I made a apple pie donut, and
Oh
right now
wow.
I have some filled donuts that are on my menu too. Jelly filled donuts with homemade berries jam, Nutella filled donut, dulce de leche. I put that on the menu. It's been a hit since last week. Peanut butter and jelly, creme brulee, Boston cream, all homemade. Yeah,
Yeah.
and lemon poppy seed donut.
Oh wow.
It's all very simple, but classic. Classic
Hmm.
doesn't fail.
Definitely. They don't sound too simple to me. They sound delicious and very unique. I love those flavors. What's your process like with coming up with the flavors and even making them? Is it, you just think of an idea and make up your own recipe, or do you have people you talk to like figure out a recipe? Like, how do you end up making
Uh,
these types?
Yeah, so I think those are very basic flavors all around the
Hmm.
world. Or
Okay.
cinnamon sugar is like churro for me. It's like very familiar, very. I grew up with that. Nutella is like everyone likes Nutella. Peanut jelly is a classic here in the States. I had to. Same with Boston cream or creme brulee. And honestly, I've been following a lot of donut shops on Instagram, so
Hmm.
I try to get inspired from them, you know. I got inspired from Krispy Kreme. I used to always come here for vacations, and once I tried Krispy Kreme, I wanted to do that, you know.
Hmm.
So I get inspiration from on other people, chefs, and I try to put my own signature like guava and cheese. But I always listen to the customers too. They order the jelly filled donut or the dulce de leche. So it's all from everywhere, you know. I try
Hmm.
to take someone else's opinion or get inspired on Instagram. The other day I made a cannoli donut. I love cannoli. I love Italian food. So I try to take inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's great, and that leads to a lot of cool flavors to try, and taking inspiration from Instagram. I love that, and your customers as well, just to test things out, right? Because also, to like you said before, donuts last like a day, so maybe you do a batch and you test it out with customers, right, to see how they like it.
Yeah, yeah. Some days at the coffee shop, if it's been a slow day, we'll give away donuts. We don't want them to go to next day.
Right.
So yeah, and looking forward to the future, I would like to open a front store and make small batches during the day,
Hmm.
so people can get them fresh and warm.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, like a shop downtown or something, and people can
Yeah, I would
smell the
love to do that.
donuts.
Yeah, and I've been doing a lot of events like catering. Some people will order for beer days. I will spell happy birthday with donuts. I've done some weddings, so I'm looking forward to get a team, couple of pastry chefs, and make people wants donuts for instead of wedding cakes
Hmm.
lately. So I'm trying to get into those kind of events.
Yeah, just expanding where your
Yeah.
donuts end up. Perfect. Well, my last big question for you is, in this moment, what is your proudest accomplishment? And of course, it can be related to your business or can be on a completely other topic. Just kind of that first thing that comes to mind when I ask you what your proudest accomplishment is.
It will be being here right now and having my business with all the support from Raleigh's people. Yeah, it's for sure is that having a business and that is booming does a lot. And getting here from myself, by myself. Yeah, it's that for sure. Like growing up and being able to make it a successful business, because it's not hard, it's not easy,
Hmm.
especially on a pandemic. So for
Right.
sure, my biggest accomplishment will be that being here and right now.
Yeah, congratulations on launching your business and getting to where you're at now. And I'm excited to see where you'll take it and where you'll end up, as I'm sure it'll be awesome places. So before we sign off here, where can people find you and Tepuy Donuts? Social medias, website, like shout out where people can find you.
Tepuy Doughnuts with a long word. And Tepuy, my personal Instagram is Tepuy Chef. You can go there and hit the direct message. I'm working on a ordering site right now, but right now you can just hit the direct message and I'll show you the menu and you can pre-order them.
Well, thank you so much, Alejandro, for speaking with me today. I really enjoyed it.
It's a pleasure for me. Thank you so much for having me.
And I hope everyone checks Alejandro and his amazing donuts out. Excellent. Thank you, Alejandro.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.